Who says you can't go home again, huh, Calais? Who says that? Right?
Yeah, I don't know. They're wrong, though. You can definitely always come home. I mean, home is where the fun is.
So is this year 18? Did I get that right? Is this going to be year 18 for you in the NFL? Wow.
Whew. Yeah, you're 18.
Wow.
Year
Who would have
18.
thought? I don't know. I just keep wanting to play football and they keep letting me. So one day I got to go home, but right now I'm enjoying it as much as I can.
And so it was the 2008 draft, 50th overall selection, and the Arizona Cardinals took you out of the U. Walk me through your memories of that draft. Here we are in draft week, Calais. What do you got for me there?
I had a really bad combine. I should have trained with you for the run.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Might have been a little better.
Nice.
But I had good training and stuff. I just kind of like, mentally, whatever. I need to be humbled, and it happened. But then, like leading up to the actual draft week, I wasn't sure if I was still going to be like a first round pick, like I was projected, or if I was going to fall. Some people thought I might fall out of the draft completely. So it was a whole lot of uncertainty. And I was, like whatever it is, what it is. Like we just got to ride with it and make the best of it. And back then they had first and second day, the first and second round were on day one, and then everything else was day two. And so I couldn't imagine having to like sit through now because I fell out of the first round and going second round, and having that whole day go by probably would have stuck a little more. But for us, when I got drafted, like it was still just a couple hours later after the first round, and but once that call came in, like everything else went out the window. Like it didn't matter anymore about where you got drafted. It was like, okay, my dream's here, my dreams are coming true. Got on the phone, with all Rod Grace, the GM for the Cardinals at the time, Ken Wisenhunt, got on the phone with Michael Bidwell. And it was just like, like just the ultimate feeling, surreal. Like you couldn't even like even right now at this moment, I still get chills thinking about it because you work so hard for something and then your dream comes true. And then you realize that's when the work really gets started. Everything up until that point really didn't matter no more. That's when the work really starts.
Right. And then now 18 seasons later, you're back with them. I mean, are you just blown away sometimes walking around the town, the city, the facility, just seeing the Cardinals logo behind you, that this is happening for you, Calais?
Yeah. Right? I mean, it's always a possibility, right? That's why you never burn any bridges. That's not my personality anyway, but a lot of guys burn bridges or have, you could. You don't want to do that, though, because there's always a possibility you can come back. And so I know that the city has just been like on fire since the announcement came out. I trained here already, so when I'm in town, guys are always like, hey, we miss you guys. We miss you. We want you back, And so now that I'm back, a lot of guys are like, I mean, literally everywhere I go, welcome back, man. I'm so happy to have you. Hope it's gonna be a big year. And I'm like, I think we got a shot. We got a chance. So, but it is surreal. It's incredible. I mean, this organization is the one that gave me my start first, believed in me, had 9 incredible years with the 2 championship games when most people didn't think we had a chance. I was in the Super Bowl my rookie year, so my whole career started off with a bang. And I've been chasing that feeling again. And who knew? I didn't even think I'd be playing 18 years. I thought I'd be done by now. So I'm surprised at myself too. But at the end of the day, like I love this game so much. I love it with all my heart. And as long as they allow me to play, and I'm still good at it, like why not?
Right. I mean, and you've done everything in your career, playing, as you said, in championship games and, the Super Bowl, and, in your first go round with Arizona and my buddy Kurt Warner. And now here you are trying to get back to the Super Bowl and win it. Walter Payton Man of the Year is also in your trophy case, for the lack of a better phrase, because it's more than just the trophy, clearly. Why do you keep doing it? Why do you want to keep doing it?
I think about that all the time because, like, I got kids who require a lot of time. And so, like, what's the point of going through the sacrifices, losing time with them to really be good at this game that, I've done enough where I could walk away and feel really good about my career. But when I think about it, it really comes down to, the love of the game, right? Like, I love this game with all my heart. I started playing at 6 years old because, I found out I could start playing. I asked my dad to sign me up, and I literally begged him, and so I've always been in love with this football game. And, eventually I do got to go home, but, the reason why I keep going now is I feel like I got more to offer. I got more to offer the game. I can still be an impact player. I can still impact the locker room and helping these, younger, talented, young men develop and grow their game. And, I take pride in that, just, trying to give more to the game, make the game, better than when it was handed to me when I was a young buck 18 years ago. So, you know, it's part of it. It's a lot of other reasons, but that's the gist of it. I just love it so much, and I want to make the game better. And so I feel like I still have a lot to offer it. And a lot of that is being a leader and helping the young guys develop. But even on the field, I feel like I can still, shoot those gaps and make those TFLs and get sacks and batted balls and game-changing plays. So, one day, when I'm, 20 years, 30 years down the road, and I'm looking back on my career, I don't want to be like, oh, I should have retired a year earlier, because, look at this tape, it's terrible. And so I definitely don't want to suck at the game, but right now I feel like I can still ball.
Sir, you do not. I can confirm that you do not suck at the game. You're the exact opposite of sucking at the game, and I can say things like this. You don't have to even react to it, but years from now we can look back and maybe talk about a jacket and a bust and things like that in a certain state in the Midwest of the United States of America. It is the truth, what you have been able to do in your career, Calais Campbell, and you are truly one of my favorites. Now you're in Arizona. I got to, spend some time with Jonathan Gannon before a game against the Rams at the end of the season. He's contagious, man, in a good way. You know what I mean? Like, there's an energy about him that I think it's clear there's been a lot of buying of what he's been selling there in Arizona. I wonder what your 2 cents are on that as you're joining this organization with Kyler and a team that does appear to be on the upswing here, Calais.
Yeah, before I ever met him, I've heard nothing but good things, right? I try to keep a good pulse on the league, and I'm always talking to guys about, how they feel about, coordinators and sometimes even, D-line coaches and just different, people that, could potentially, grow in this league. And it's not like I'm doing that to try to, like, have, information for from a free agent or something. It just kind of happened that way. But
sure,
I definitely heard so many good things about Coach Gannon when he was in Philly, and then getting the head coaching job, and guys that played for him here, they all loved him. And so when the opportunity came and we got on the phone together, like I had a chance to see for myself, and he was very impressive. It just blew me out the water. With just like the way you could tell he loves the game, his energy. His knowledge for how to get advantages in the game, especially on defensive line. And so he said a lot of things I like to hear, which led to obviously me being here now. And I think together, my goal is just to help him as best I can, put my hand in the pile, and really just kind of help the maturity of the defensive side of the ball. Just young guys, a lot of talent everywhere. And I know that with my experience and my knowledge of the game, hopefully I can make a big impact here.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.